Hello guys, and welcome back to Joe's Adventures. And today we're going to be taking a break from all our Planet Zoo stuff and be taking a look at Jurassic World Evolution 2, a game that you can tell I'm quite excited for. I've been hearing lots of news about it. I'm excited to see what gameplay we get in Jurassic Park stuff. I'm really excited about that. So we've got this exclusive interview along with a couple different videos and stuff of Game Informer. So what we have is like an exclusive article that we'll be reading through and see what information we can glean from that. So let's have a looky-loo. So Raptors hunt in packs, exclusive first details from Jurassic World Evolution 2. So we'll read this through and then we'll go have a look at different tweets and such. So it'll be good. Slight spoiler. World of Trouble is teased within Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. As final moments, director Colin Trevorrow showed us what happens next in the little-known short film Battle of Bedrock, which gives the Thunder Lizards new territory to explore. We have to wait until next June to see how the story concludes in Jurassic World Dominion. We can soon play through another of its story chapters within the video game, Jurassic World Evolution 2. So Frontier Design says that this sequel will be more of an authentic story that shows us what is happening within the United States. This isn't just a theme park building experience, so that's cool. You'll be pushed to contain dinosaur threats in different ways as this narrative unfolds. Okay, interesting. And a 30-minute hands-off demonstration of the game in action, Frontier shows me one of the environment sets within the Northern Hemisphere. Snow-capped mountains stand tall over sprawling lakes flaked by thick forests and pines. Sunset dances across the water, leading the eye to another glimmer flickering off the massive glass dome, which I quickly realized is the new Avery. Seen those in the trailer. It's positioned next to an ominous peak of Jurassic World's Innovation Center, which sits next to the crowded street full of gift shops, attractions, and swarms of people. Behind this communion, I see movement within the tall pines. The necks of Brachiosaurus bound slowly within them, looking oddly small just given how tall the pines are. So it looks like we're getting some pretty big trees. That's pretty cool. The game's director, Richard Newbold, tells me that we are looking at a sandbox map which stretches across the entire screen. All the maps the players have access to are a lot bigger than the first game, so I think that perked a lot of people's ears because a lot of people didn't like the size of the maps in the first game. I thought they were fine, but a lot of people just want to make big maps. He adds, there's a lot more space available to build and place as many dinosaurs as possible. With changes to the territory system, they're going to need a lot more space in some instances, especially since the direct conflict between subspecies. It's not easy to put as many dinosaurs in the same space. There's a lot more balance that needs to be done. Along with the forest theme, the player will make parks in desert settings, which you can see in some of these images. So, before we look at the Amargasaurus and look at that wonderful guy, really cool animal. You can see he's in the desert with all the different trees and the cacti and all that. But looking at that really does reveal a lot. So there seems to be a territory system, which will work if the maps are bigger. So it's going to be less about maintaining a zoo or theme park. It's more about maintaining like a reserve and keeping animals in like a semi-wild state by the looks of it. So having these different territories is really cool. That means you'll have to much more worry about what animals you put together. So I imagine some animals are just not going to get on as well as others. Similar to like in Planet Zoo, how some animals kind of get bonuses or from having different animals together, but these guys would probably be a little bit more direct. So if another species is invading its territory and they don't get on with them, they're going to have a fight. That's pretty cool. There's a lot more balancing within that. So here's a look here. The dinosaurs. What I'll do while we look for is we can have a look at this. This is the map that they gave us here. This is the right of the arch of the exclusive article. We can see Andrew Rayner, and we can see this wonderful map. Look at that. We can see all the different on the streets, all different buildings, viewing towers, the Innovation Center, the Avery, and then off to the lakes. That's what he was describing. And we can have a look here. Look at this wonderful Amargasaurus. I really like this pattern it's got. It really looks wonderful. Reminds me a lot of the Nigersaurus, but I think it looked wonderful. I love the spikes that they gave it across the neck, put keratin on it. Really gives it a distinct design. I quite like it. So let's carry on with this article. So the dinosaurs you'll add in your park and enclosures are more realistic than they were in the first game, Tells me there are over 75 different species to unearth. Most are ground dinosaurs, but players can also add marine and flying creatures as well, reptiles as well. In this brief look at this sequel, I wasn't able to see if the Tyrannosaurus Rex moves in new ways or if it hunts realistically, but I did see how it studies its habitat. So this is interesting. Newbold hatches two Tyrannosaurus from the Hammond Creature Lab, and to much surprise, they emerge together, looking even more menacing as ever as standing next to each other. The entry animation is a sight to behold. The Tyrannosaurus' bodies are brown, but the crown of their heads appears to be a slight red. So that's cool. So it looks like we're going to be able to release animals together as well. So I think that really helps a lot, especially with animals that have high social needs. So it'll be easy to release them in one go, and even social groups, even packs and things. So that's going to be really cool. And it's cool to see the animations of them interacting with each other. That's going to be awesome. We're going to move into that. So the players will also have more skins and colors to choose from when creating their dinosaurs. I'm told each dino has roughly a dozen body colors, along with 7 different patterns. Holding true to the expeditions of the first game, dinosaur DNA is once again obtained by fossils. When eggs are synthesized, you can tweak their DNA to enhance social behaviors. So that makes them more social. I imagine that's similar to like The Secrets of Dr. Wu, where you can change things. Make them more resilient to disease, less aggressive to rangers, and more. So that's going to be kind of genes you can edit to make them do different things. So that's pretty cool. Rather than incubating one egg at a time, you can now generate a clutch of eggs. As part of this editing phase, you're increasing or decreasing the chance of any of those traits manifesting, adds Newbold. Once you've made your decision, you choose which ones you want to bring to maturity and release them all as a group. So that's pretty cool. As I mentioned, that'll work pretty well for animals that have social groups that you want to keep together, or packs, so that's really cool. When a dinosaur hatches from the lab, it won't immediately settle into a state of comfort or agitation. It'll instead explore its habitat and see if there's an area that fits its needs. So that's cool with the bigger habitats. If the space is found, the dinosaur will claim that territory. So it'll find areas in an enclosure that it really does like and will claim it as its territory. So that's important for bigger enclosures as well. So you see animals hanging out in different areas that they like. So that's pretty cool. The dinosaurs residing in distinct territories means that the player can set up a variety of areas within the same enclosed space and hopefully keep them comfortable. When a dinosaur is highlighted by the player will see its territory, which displays as a white outline on the ground. So that's pretty cool. So it's less that they will all you can just put all the dinosaurs together. As long as they don't need each other, they'll be fine. But animals will have different habitat needs that you need to also account for. And if you give them a larger habitat, you can say you have a dinosaur that needs more foliage and trees, and another that needs more open areas, and some that needs more water. They will tend to hang out and congregate together as different species within those areas. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. I think that's a cool system, especially with these larger habitats. I'm not sure how that would apply to something like Planet Zoo, since you won't be making enclosures that large, but I think that's still pretty cool. And this system is dynamic, says Newbold. It is building up as the dinosaurs walk around the enclosure. As the Triceratops moves, it will move its territory in a new direction, and its old territory it created long ago starts to decay. It's walking towards things it needs, such as water, forest, or ground fiber. So that's interesting, we got ground fiber. It's not just about that, it's also the territory of other dinosaurs in the area. Sometimes a species are complementary and live together harmoniously, but other times the species will have conflicts. If there's an overlap in their territories, there may be behaviors between those two dinosaurs. Then they'll try and build their territories to their size. It's a dynamic system that puts a realistic connection between dinosaurs. This also means that species will rest together, socialize in more ways, and act more like a herd in their defined space. So that's pretty cool. I really like that. So having to manage these animals' territories, they'll have to manage the territories and manage what animals you have to put together. So it's a lot more management in terms of what animals you put together, how they manage the territories. And even if you just try and introduce something new, you have to think, is it going to affect the other animals in my enclosure? Is it going to do this? And I think that really adds a lot more management in terms of placing the dinosaurs and stuff. So I think that's really cool. So let's move down. Frontier has also made it easier for the player to implement change to their enclosures. and have minimized the back and forth between menus and gameplay. So, executive producer Adam Woods walks me through this new system. I can quickly edit the environment with the landscape tools, and you can see the dinosaur information on the left, and I can quickly reference it. So you see I need forest, so I can use the paint tools and add trees. The forest needs a mat, as I do this, so that's cool. Herbivores now feed on the foliage and no longer require feeders, so that's something I knew a lot of people were really into. I think it really does fit a lot more this game, because it's meant to be more about having them in natural habitats. So it's interesting that they did that. I don't think it'll come to things like Planet Zoo, since no zoo animals really eat their own food. It's usually always provided for them. So you need to make sure that you put the right plants in while editing the terrain. For the Triceratops, the solution is a fibrous ground plant. The number of items that players can place around the enclosure is greatly expanded. And I saw a dozen different rocks, and there may have been more. So that's really cool. That really shows that we've got more plants and rocks and things to add into enclosures. That's really going to do a wonder for making nice enclosures. And then we can see here we've got the wonderful Pseudoceratops. You can see the different skins there. Same pattern, different colors. And you can see this wonderful new car that we're getting for the vet. And we'll have a look at this now. I really love this. So the enhanced enclosure design extends to the aviary, which can hold numerous flying creatures, including the Pteranodon, which I got to see emerge from the lab. 3 of them fly out together, each animated in a different way to give off the impression of a flock. Their habitat is barren at first, but Wood dives into the editing tools to quickly add trees, water, and rocks to it. The size of the aviary is also determined by the player, which is so cool. So we can able to edit and change the aviaries. That's really cool. More glass domes can be added freely, much like the fencing, to make the enclosures grow dynamically. If the Pteranodon grows agitated, they could smash through the glass and fly around the park, potentially going after guests. The player will then need to track down and tranquilize these dinosaurs and get them back to where they belong. I asked if ground dinosaurs could interact with the flying reptiles, and neither Woods nor Newbold wanted to talk about that just yet, saying that the answer will become closer to the late 2021 launch of the game. So that's dangerous. Oh, that's dangerous. So I imagine there's going to be something dynamic there, but we're going to take a break and look at this wonderful GIF. Look at this GIF. I think that's just so cool that we get dynamic aviaries. I haven't seen a game done that before, but it's really cool to get something new and dynamic and see all the animals that we get. Oh, that's going to be so cool. Though I really do hope that we get the Jurassic World 3 Pteranodon. It looks so much better than Jurassic World 1. But I think that's really cool that they're giving us that. It's awesome. As you can see here, ooh, yucky. So, I didn't see any dinosaurs fight in my demo, but I'm told that the smaller variety will team up and take on larger beasts. That means the raptors hunt in packs. Oh yes, that's pretty cool. Predators, when taking after their prey, will chase them after them dynamically. That's really cool. There's no stopping and starting. There's improvements to the fighting system as well. That's pretty cool. So it's not going to just be stand in line and wait to get attacked. They're going to be hunting together and hunting in dynamic ways. It's going to be awesome. So if a dinosaur is injured, it may need to visit the paleomedical facility, the one new structure I see among the familiar ranger stations, research center, park tour, and more buildings from the first game. This medical facility is white, but also a large fenced area behind it where the dinosaurs can be treated. You need to fly them in via helicopter. If a dinosaur cannot be treated in the field, you need to bring it here. The example I'm told is one is seriously injured in battle. So if you have a dinosaur that's really seriously injured, you have to bring it there to be heal up. But if it's not a major thing, like if it's just got a blood thing, you can just send your vet team out and it'll be fine. The paleomedical facility also comes with a unique vehicle called the mobile vet unit, which you can freely control, just like the other vehicles in the game. So that's really cool. So we're going to have the vet unit, then we're going to have the Jeep, and then we're going to have the helicopter. So that's really, really cool. More options. You can never have too many options. Also, monitoring dinosaurs' health will be much easier through the implementation of the new ranger posts, which looks to be a small shack that you can place anywhere within the enclosure. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I believe that's what we saw in the pictures of the trike. The rangers use this station to perform welfare checks, and dino vitals are not so clearly defined in the sequel. So would say there's a bigger fog of war to that information, so players will need to keep tabs on it. The best way to do this is through the ranger post. That's interesting. So you need to make sure that you're checking on your animals, make sure they're all happy and healthy. Interesting. We can see this pteranodon that it's kind of ugly, but I think the aviaries make up for it. I really want to see if we can get these kind of aviaries, but they're also like barred, like the Jurassic Park one. That would be awesome. Different types and different things would be awesome. So also, significant enhancements can also be applied to guests, their behaviors, and the structures you can build for them. Each guest mood is divided into 4 categories: adventure, standard, nature, and luxury, and they will gravitate to areas that they seek the most. For instance, the adventure junkie will want to see the carnivores. So that's pretty much same how it works in JPOG. You have your paleo nerds here that want to go see dinosaurs in accurate habitats and this and that, so it is pretty much the same. So we also got the player can tailor attractions and amenities to these specific groups. The 2 structures are fully customizable right down to what they offer and how they look. With the click of the button, the base attraction can transform into an aquarium, bowling alley, cinema, arcade, spa, and you name it. The design of that building is also fully customizable. The facade, the roof decoration, the entrance location, signage, immediate surroundings can all be changed with a number of preset options, so that's pretty cool. I imagine it's going to be a preset, but there is going to be lots of variation within that, so that's pretty cool. So we can create all sorts of different buildings. For the group, you can have trees. For the ground, you can have trees, dinosaur skeletons, flags, and more, so that's really cool. The color of all these items can also be altered, so if you want a shop that's hot pink, so be it. If you want each piece to be a different color, you can do that. The range of color is extensive, allowing for a specific stage to be picked from a wheel. So that's pretty cool. So there's a lot more customizability, and pretty much you can place whatever you want, and it's all within presets. So I think it's going to be a really easy way to do it. So that's cool. Let's look at this wonderful Brachiosaurus, wonderful animal. So where is during my demo, Woods and Newbold were positioned in the lower left, covering up most of the display where the park rating was in the first game. I didn't get to see what was there, but when Wood moved his arm, I saw a series of arrows. I asked if the players could speed up time, and Newbold responded, there are some time controls. We allow the player to pause time and also to speed up time if a problem arises in the park. Those time controls may be disabled until the issue is taken care of. Now, that's pretty cool. So that's very similar to Planet Zoo and Prehistoric Kingdom, where you can control the time, speed it up, slow it down. So that'll be really helpful. Also, one of the new threats in the northern region is the snowstorm, which covers the ground in snow and can create problems all across the park, such as losing power. So no different really than a tornado in the first game. So we're going to move that soon. Okay. So Woods and Newbold walked me through the number of game's new features, but wouldn't talk about others that they were teasing in the trailer. We know marine dinosaurs are in the sequel, but I didn't get to see them. The Mosasaurus Lagoon will have to be huge, but what else we can add to it? And how customizable will it be? What other water dinosaurs or marine reptiles are in the game? Can they leap up and eat land dinosaurs? We really need to know the answer to that last question, of course. Details on game modes are also light this time. I did, however, get to learn that contract missions from the first game aren't in the story campaign, but will be present in challenge mode, so that's much better. Jurassic World Evolution is coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC. And Frontiers have said nothing that they will say this time about a Switch version. Details are also scarce on the new generation versions, but I'm told they will be enhanced. Okay. I walked away from my demo impressed by the changes that Frontier is implementing. It looks to be a much deeper experience than before, that gives players a variety of new toys to use and less hassle. I can't wait to see that darn Mosasaurus and how the story will be handled. Here's hoping they'll give us a look at these aspects in the game soon. So, yeah, I believe there's actually going to be a lot of changes, and I'm going to really enjoy this. This is going to be a good game. It's going to be like Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution 1 hybrid that is going to work perfectly for me, and I think a lot of people as well. And these are the dinosaurs that he saw. So we got Acrocanthosaurus returning from Jurassic World Evolution. We've got Allosaurus also returning. Amargasaurus is a new dinosaur that we've seen all the time in the promotional art. We've seen promotional images like the GIF and these guys and all that. Really, really cool. So we also got Baryonyx from the movies as well. Brachiosaurus we've already seen all the time. Camarasaurus from the first movie, and I thought it was very difficult, and also from JPOG, so that's why I thought this guy would never get cut. Ceratops we've seen a couple times as well. Pteranodon, we've seen a couple images of that as well. Stegosaurus, Triceratops, and Tyrannosaurus Rex, all staples of the franchise. So that's pretty epic. So we can go have a look at Lucas' tweet and covers it, so maps are much bigger. Species don't do well with each other very often, depending on how the habitats you build. You have to work to balance them. Tyrannosaurus and likely other dinosaurs studies their habitats. Tyrannosaurus emerged from the hatcheries together, hatching 2 of them. After the egg is synthesized, you can tweak their social behavior before hatching. That's pretty cool. You can choose which eggs grow to maturity and release as a group. The dinosaur, after release, will study and observe its habitat if it becomes agitated or stressed. So it'll observe it and look, and then if it's not to its liking, it'll stress out. The territory of X dinosaur will be able to be seen when selecting the specimen. A wide area will be formed. Dinosaurs move to new territories if the old territory starts to decay or loses sources of food and water. Species rest and have social interactions together if sharing the same territory. There's less back and forth with the UI. Herbivores feed off natural foliage instead of using feeders. I know a lot of people are really into that, especially like if you want to make like a Site B type thing. Pteranodons do break out and fly across the park vegetated, so we'll have to catch them. Aviaries are dynamic and can be expanded as the player wishes. They're so cool. I really love designable aviaries. I haven't really seen a game do that, and I'm really excited to get stuck into that. Pack hunting and normal hunting are dynamic, no start and stop, so that's something everyone's going to be happy with. New building, paleo medical facility, where injured/sick dinosaurs go to, just like the content in JPOG, so that's awesome. Everyone who loves JPOG is going to be happy with that. MPV, the mobile unit, is confirmed to act if injured/sick dinosaurs can't go to this new facility. Rangers do welfare checks via the ranger post and can be placed anywhere within the paddocks, aka the security camera I mentioned earlier, so that's what they are. Guests have 4 new specific types of preferences: adventure, standard, nature, and luxury. Design of the shops or an attraction is all up to you, and designing and customizing it, so that's really cool. The range's color is customizable by a wheel. Pause and speed up times are now functions similar to Planet Zoo or Prehistoric Kingdom, and new disaster we're getting is sandstorms. So soon we'll get snowstorms, and then maybe the equivalent for the colder maps are the snowstorms. I just think it's a little sad that we're only getting America, but America and the US does have a lot of habitats, so I'm not too worried, but it'd be really cool if we got to see a variety of other biomes across the world even. But it looks like the movie and the game is going to be restricted to the United States, but that's okay. It's still a very big place with a lot of different habitats, grasslands, deserts, boreal forests, and things like that, so I can't complain. Swamps as well, bayous, or the bayous. So yeah, that's pretty much all the information we got now. So that was a big dump, and I'm pretty excited to see what comes of it. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Always remember to hit the little bell icon to get notified whenever I upload anything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like and subscribe, and bye-bye.